All right, so like I've said before, everybody mind your manners now, Michael. So we're excited today because we're going to have another, oh shoot, I got a Jeopardy game going on today. And Melissa Freeman is joining us. How are you doing, Melissa?
I'm doing good. Summer has started and hanging in there.
Yeah. Now, Melissa, you are the program coordinator, aren't you, for stroke
Yeah, I'm the stroke program manager at Duke.
At Duke? Yeah. And so I'll bet you guys stay pretty busy.
Most of the time. Yep.
Yeah, I'm sure of it. Anyway, a couple of things, guidelines I like to say in the beginning is, since we're recorded here, hopefully everybody is okay with that because we do send it out and we make sure that we let everybody else hear what we have to say, and a lot of teaching and training and just conversation between all of us is really good for everybody. So we do record these and put them on our out there for people to listen to. Who is here? Has anybody here who it's their first or second meeting? No, Angel, how many? Oh, Scott, okay. Angel, how many meetings have you been to?
I've been here 4 or 5 times.
Nice. Appreciate that.
Okay.
Part of my situation from having my stroke is I don't always remember everything like that. So you guys gotta give me a pass on that. If anybody has any questions or anything, I ask that you raise your hand or make sure we know. And we like to try to keep it to 3 to 5 minutes or so, unless we are getting close to being done, then there's more time. But we don't want anybody running away with it because we want everybody's opportunity to talk and to get answers and stuff like that. So we thought Erica and her cohorts did a great job the last meeting. It turned out really good. Would you guys agree with that?
Yes, very much so.
Yeah, it was a good meeting. So we sure appreciate them being there. So Melissa, we're gonna kick it off here and get started on the gosh darn it, Jeopardy situation. And once we get through that, if there's time, we'll do some more stuff and talk about a few other things. Lonnie, go ahead.
Keith, I want to know, how much are we going to win in this Jeopardy game?
Well, that's up to Melissa. Melissa,
I understand Michael put up $1 million for the winner.
Hey. Well, I'm going to enter then if I got that $1 million up.
So it's settled, Lonnie. I think it's Michael.
Yeah.
All right. So this isn't like real Jeopardy. You don't have to say things like what is or anything like that. If you know the answer, just shout it out. We're really just here to have fun and maybe learn something. So hopefully you'll enjoy, and I will, let's see, can I share my screen?
Oh yeah, sure.
I don't see that's what she's looking.
Oh, that's up to, sorry about that. Joey, can you let her share a screen?
And one of these is a little glitchy. I don't remember exactly which one it is, but you might. I'm not a computer expert, so. All right, here we go.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Okay. And let's go.
Whoa.
All right, so our categories are: these cool people also had a stroke. Did I make this up? Is it a stroke? Prevention is key. Potpourri.
Okay.
All right. Keith, you want to start us off here?
You betcha. These cool people also had strokes for 100.
100, okay. A lifetime of heavy smoking likely contributed to multiple strokes in this royal.
Mm. Ooh.
Don't know.
King George.
George, all right. All right, we got some guesses. Just throw them out there. You're not losing them. It's Princess Margaret.
Wow.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Wow.
Makes sense.
Yeah. She had quite a few strokes, I think, by the
Yeah.
end of her life. Oopsie. Ignore that one. All right. Who said King George? Why don't you go ahead and pick the next one?
Did Melissa make this up? For 100.
For what?
For 100.
For 100. Okay. Women and men can have different stroke symptoms.
Yes.
True or
Yes.
false? Yes.
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 Yeah, we actually can. It's rare. So don't let that confuse you too much. There is some data that is showing that women can feel more fatigue, more like generalized weakness than a typical stroke symptom, which would be like one-sided, but it's still pretty rare. And if you're having that, all those be fast, those sudden onset of balance, vision, face, appendage, speech, terrible headache, still call 911, assume that's a stroke, as opposed to, just generally being weak. But there is growing evidence that we can have different stroke symptoms.
Cool.
All right. I already lost who said yes. Deborah,
Robert.
you're the next one on my screen. Why don't you pick the next one?
Who did you say?
Deborah.
Oh, let's do potpourri for 100.
Okay. This is the acronym we use to teach stroke signs.
That's a tough one.
What is fast?
Be fast.
Yeah.
Either one.
Yep. Fast is what the AHA uses. They haven't quite adopted be fast yet.
The stroke.
Or rapido if you're Spanish speaking, but that is right. Be fast. And those are the ones that I just went over. Balance, eyes, face, speech, or arm, speech, time.
Jeopardy
All right, I
stroke
think Bridget
coordinator.
got that one.
She's a stroke coordinator in North Carolina.
Bridget, you want to pick the next one?
Prevention is key for 200.
All right. These 3 types of medications are commonly prescribed to reduce the risk of another stroke.
Blood thinner.
What is a statin?
Mhm.
Blood thinner
Uh-huh. One more.
and
Aspirin.
What is a statin? Oh, that's already said. So
Yeah. Blood pressure medicine.
Okay.
So aspirin, blood thinners,
Yeah.
those all kind of fall under those antithrombotics. So an anticoagulation pill that you might be on, aspirin, Plavix, anything like that. A statin to keep your pipes smooth and your cholesterol down. And we got to get those blood pressure medicines going. All right. Angel, you're up on my screen. You want to pick?
Oh God. Prevention is key.
Okay.
200.
We got the gray we already did. So you want to do
300.
300? All right. Everything in moderation, but What are the 2 things I say to never do?
Drinking.
And smoking.
And smoking.
Yep.
Close.
Drink what?
I do like me a glass of wine. Come on, I came here from Louisiana, y'all.
I was hoping you would say that, Melissa.
Oh, drinking.
Oh, smoking and
Drugs.
drugs.
Oh,
Andrew.
well,
That makes sense.
Drugs.
Okay.
So smoking, hopefully we all know why smoking's bad, right? It causes, aside from the cancer that it's correlated with, it can also make our blood clot. It closes up our arteries. It causes all sorts of other issues. But drugs, and
Right.
a whole big number of them, right? Cocaine is one that we see the most often.
Oh,
And cocaine, your brain doesn't like it. Okay, the vessels in your brain clamp down on cocaine. They spasm, and when they get clamped down enough, you're preventing that blood from getting where it's supposed to go. It also drives your blood pressure up. It also makes your blood clotting. And then marijuana, we get questioned about this one a lot, because there's a lot of different uses for THC nowadays, and a lot of people are on it. And, you know, I think more and more evidence is coming out as what we can use it for. But there are growing number of studies about marijuana that do associate it with a higher risk of atrial fibrillation. And if you have if your risk for AFib goes up, then your risk for stroke also goes up. However, there are a lot of benefits to THC. So, you know, still kind of up in the air. And then there are all sorts of other, drugs that anything that you inject makes you at risk for having a kind of stroke that involves bacteria. So a lot of them make your blood pressure shoot way high, sky high. So we try to say, no smoking, no drugs.
okay.
All right. Who wants to pick next?
Let's go with, is it a stroke for 100?
Is it a stroke for 100?
Okay.
James spent 3 hours outside gardening in July. He felt super faint, dizzy, and weak. His temp was 106 in the ER.
Stroke.
Was it a stroke?
No,
Heat stroke.
dehydration.
Stroke.
Yeah.
Heat stroke.
James probably had heat stroke, which is not the same thing, right?
Dang.
I don't know why it's called heat stroke. It's really people do get confused, but it is an overheating of your body, and it is not the same thing as a brain stroke, right?
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. Ralph, you want to pick one?
Let's go with Melissa, make it up, 200.
This might be my glitchy one. Can you have a stroke and never know it?
Yeah.
Yes.
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 Yeah. A
Yeah.
silent stroke? Absolutely. We have a lot of people who come in and we stick them in an MRI machine or even a CT scan and go, there's a little dead area over there, and they had no clue. It just depends where in your brain it hits, right? Sometimes the really teeny tiny ones, depending on where in your brain, can cause a lot of damage. And big ones can, but also small ones. It just depends where it is. So, all right. Lene, have you picked one yet?
No, and I'm gonna pick potpourri for 300.
All right. What we got here? This type of stroke occurs when an aneurysm bursts.
Hemorrhagic.
Hemorrhagic.
You know what specifically, what type it usually causes?
Mm,
No.
You're right. You're right. Sorry, you're right. It does cause a hemorrhage. It's a subarachnoid hemorrhage is what it usually causes. You can get a intracerebral hemorrhage. as well, but they usually burst and they cause a hemorrhage in the subarachnoid space in your brain. So it actually looks a little bit different than like a hemorrhage from high blood pressure, for instance.
Hmm.
Yeah, so when people normally say, oh, my auntie had an aneurysm, they usually mean she had a subarachnoid hemorrhage from an aneurysm. An aneurysm by itself isn't necessarily dangerous. You can have one and never know it. It's when it pops. It's the problem.
No.
Okay.
All right, let's see. Who we got next? Who hasn't picked yet? Dave, you want to pick?
Yeah, is it a stroke? 200.
Okay. Bob went out Saturday night bar hopping and passed out at around 3 a.m. on his couch. He had a fun night. When he woke up, his arm felt numb and his neck hurt. Is it a stroke?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Heart.
It's just being drunk.
Yeah.
On the couch.
Yeah, it's probably what we call a Saturday night palsy. I'm not making that up. That is what people call it in the ER. It's when you fall asleep on like your neck is all like and your arms all crooked and funny. Usually when you're inebriated, and then it pinches the nerve.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Won't forget that name.
We have all sorts of funny names for stuff in medicine. And believe me, I have been a nurse for over 20 years and I'm still Googling stuff on the regular. Like, I mean, there's so much stuff. All right. Hey, Steve, would you like to pick?
Sure. How about cool people who had strokes?
Okay. For which number? 200, 300?
Oh, you don't have 1,000? No.
Don't have 1,000 today.
Let's see. How about 300?
Okay. Let's do it. This famous 50s actress had a stroke, causing her to crash while her daughter was a passenger.
Oh,
Princess Grace.
Princess.
Princess Grace.
Yes. Thanks.
Okay.
Who is
Princess Grace.
Yeah, sure did. She actually had a hemorrhage. She had a intracerebral hemorrhage. Crashed her car because of that, and died.
Wow.
Yeah. All right, Arnie, I think that was you, huh?
Well, hang on. My battery's about to die, so hang on a second. Let me see here. Did Melissa make this up for 300?
I think this is my glitchy one, so forgive me. Yeah, we all know high blood pressure is a major risk factor for stroke. Can low blood pressure cause a stroke?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, it can. It causes a different type of stroke, but it can. Now, if you live with low blood pressure, you're probably not likely to have a stroke. If you're like chronically low, I'm talking about if your blood pressure is normally, a certain range, like 150, say, and then it suddenly drops down to 90, then your brain doesn't get perfusion, it doesn't get the blood, and it can cause a stroke that way. Usually called a watershed stroke or border.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, I've never.
Wow.
No, we can't really, you don't actually really treat those with the clot busting medication because it's not a clot. But
Right.
we do see it. And we honestly, when we see those most often are in patients that are already admitted to the hospital and we're playing around with blood pressure medicine or something like that, or they have surgery, something changes in their, physiology, and then the blood pressure drops and then we get called.
Wow. Huh.
And you said it's called watershed?
It can cause a watershed stroke.
Oh,
Yeah.
can cause. Okay, not
Yep.
call. Thank you.
Yep. It's just the type, it's just where in the brain it is they call it the watershed area. but low blood pressure, if it drops suddenly, your brain's not getting perfusion and you can have a stroke.
Never heard of that.
Yeah.
That's
All
good.
right. Who hasn't picked yet? Who hasn't picked? Did Scott pick?
Not yet. How about, is it a stroke for 300, please?
All right. Bob went out Saturday night and ingested some substances he probably shouldn't have. All of a sudden, Bob had a terrible headache, couldn't move his right arm or speak correctly.
Stroke.
Stroke.
I'm gonna say stroke, yeah.
That's a stroke.
Yeah. Remember
Yeah.
what I said about that cocaine?
Yeah.
Oh,
Stay away from it. All righty.
Michael hasn't gone, has he?
No,
He put up the $1 million for the
$1
winner.
All right, Michael, you want to choose?
Okay, cool people had strokes for 200.
This well-known daredevil had 2 strokes. He recovered from both and passed in 2007 from pulmonary fibrosis.
Evil Knievel.
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 Yep.
Yeah.
Crazy that that's what got him, pulmonary fibrosis.
Yeah, right.
Everything he did, he had a stroke and died, that's crazy.
Oh,
He the stroke didn't get him. He had lung issues that got him. But wasn't a car crash. I mean,
well,
all right. Who else hasn't gone? Jim, do you want to pick?
Sure. These cool people also had strokes for 500.
Five.
wow.
All right. What are we doing here? You've probably heard of this businesswoman and founder of a major cosmetic business.
Mary Kay.
Okay.
Okay, yeah.
See, and I thought I was tricking
Oh.
people by picking that one.
Wow. Oh, she had a stroke. Wow.
Okay, yep. All right, who got that one? I didn't see.
Is that you, Ralph?
I think a couple of us got it, but I'll go ahead and pick to move it along. Cool people had strokes 400.
Oop, hold that thought. My 8-year-old just ran in the house and I'm gonna shut the door. Y'all don't need to hear her. Okay. Dr. Frankenfurter is not a neurologist, but the actor known for playing him had a major stroke in 2012.
Oh, what the heck's his name? He played Willy Wonka, right?
Gene Wilder?
I don't think so.
No.
no.
Can't remember his name.
I don't know, Frankenfooter.
Never heard
Me
of it.
either.
No? Oh man, that's like old Coke.
Gene Wilder. Gene Wilder, that's it.
Right.
Ah.
It's not Gene Wilder.
Okay.
Oh,
Jim Carrey.
Okay.
Yeah.
wrong movie.
Yeah, I think he's still he's still in a wheelchair, I believe. I think he does some voice acting, but yeah, he's no longer.
Wow.
I don't think he's doing much.
Ralph, you can't always trust Google.
Yeah, I didn't Google. I don't cheat.
Yeah,
You know-
is there cheating going on? Come on, you guys. No,
No, I
cheating.
do not.
In Louisiana, we had a Dr. Google, Gugel. I mean, the confusion that caused. I'm not making that up. It was Dr. Google.
Oh, geez.
All
Hey, does
right.
anybody know,
Does
did
everything.
Jamie Foxx have a stroke?
Did Jamie Foxx have a stroke? I don't remember.
Okay.
Yeah, I will have to Google that.
I don't think he's confirmed his health
Sinbad
issue.
had
No.
a stroke.
Keep it
hasn't.
set. Yeah.
Yeah,
No.
he hasn't. He's never said.
All right.
Yeah, he never
Who-
confirmed. I know that.
Bev,
Is anybody else not
I
picked?
think Bev is up. Bev.
Beth.
Okay, let's do prevention is the key for 400.
This is the minimum amount of exercise you should be participating in at least 5 days a week within your
Yeah.
own limits.
30 minutes.
30 minutes a day.
Got it.
Yeah.
Moderate intensity exercise a day. That's right. So should get your heart rate going a little bit, right? With moderate intensity, it's about getting your heart rate up, moving around. And I mean, it can be chores, right? It can be vacuuming. It doesn't have to be, you ain't gonna get me running ever, I promise. But you know, what you can do, a nice walk around the neighborhood if you can before it gets too hot, you know, that type of thing. But it's summertime, y'all. Please drink water. Water, water, water. Please hydrate.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Has
Yeah.
anybody else not picked?
Cheers.
Did I skip anybody?
Nope.
Nope. All right. Somebody pick one. Bridget, do you want to pick one?
Let's see. Did Melissa make this up 500?
Oh, wow.
Strokes can be caused by allergic reactions.
No.
No,
No.
maybe the meds.
I'm gonna say yes.
I think so. If maybe they don't get the medical attention quick enough.
Very rarely. So if you have an allergic reaction severe enough, it can cause an inflammation cascade to go off, and inflammation can shoot your blood pressure up and you can have a stroke. That being said, I do not see it. We don't see that very often, if ever. I don't think I've ever seen somebody have an allergic reaction and then I get called to the ER to go see them. But it can happen. So if you have an EpiPen, make sure you take it with you everywhere if you need it.
Let's
All
go.
right.
Prevention is key 100.
Prevention is key 100. This diet has been proven superior to lower risk of heart attack and stroke.
Mediterranean.
You nailed that one. The Mediterranean diet. So less red meat, more fish, poultry, and small amounts, but legumes, beans, those lentils, those fruits, those vegetables, healthy nuts. That it's pretty much what everybody recommends these days to keep your risk of heart attack and stroke lower. Ralph, I think you're the one who got that one, right?
Yeah, I think
Or
so.
you first, I
But
should say.
is it a stroke 500?
Okay. Grandpa suddenly fell after getting out of the shower. He can't move his left side, but he says he feels fine and nothing is wrong.
I know. I don't know.
Says he's fine. Nothing is wrong.
Take him to the hospital.
Grandpa, yeah. Take him to the hospital.
Yep. If you see somebody that insists there's nothing wrong, but you can tell that there is something wrong, you need to get them to the hospital. A stroke can affect the right side of your brain, and that can actually cause something we call neglect, which means people with neglect, maybe they can't see things out of one side of, so they start walking into walls and like garbage cans and things in the way that they can't actually see. Or they can't tell that something is wrong at all. They can talk. They usually don't have any impairment in their language, but they can't tell that they're on the floor. It's very interesting, but if you know that something is wrong, you should get them to the hospital.
What's the percentage of people who have that right side neglect? Do you know?
Ooh, that's a tricky question. I do not know the answer to that.
Yeah.
I'll have to find that one out for you.
Because I've talked to a lot of people who have talked about that to me.
Yeah. Right side, so left-sided strokes are more common than right-sided strokes.
Really?
Mm-hmm. But not
Left
everybody who
side?
has a right-sided stroke has neglect.
I had.
I did.
Terrible.
You did? Yeah. the
entire
occupational
left side
therapist.
stayed bruised up for the next couple of months after the stroke because I was walking, couldn't clear a doorway.
Mm,
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
yeah, you really have to learn to compensate, right? To constantly move your head so that you can see the whole field of vision.
Yeah.
Yeah, and those people there, some of them are really good at tricking you. You can't tell that there's anything wrong at all until you start getting into like, fine things like writing or even reading, things like that. All right, Keith, you want to pick the next one?
Let's do potpourri for 500.
Okay. This is the person or number you would call if you suddenly experience not being able to do something that you should be able to do.
What is 911?
Right. Always call 911 because we are, or 999 if you're in a different country, but we now, most states, if I think all of them, we have a mandate now that we didn't used to, that we are to educate EMS. So we go out and we educate EMS, and they're supposed to take you to they do a screen, and they're supposed to take you to the closest appropriate facility for what they see on that, based on that screen that they're doing. So if you're in the middle of nowhere and the closest hospital is, that's where you go, then that's one thing. But if you say you've got we have different types of stroke centers, and you might live really close to a stroke center that's a different level than the higher level that's 20 minutes down the road, and EMS is supposed to know that, and they would skip the one that's 5 minutes away to take you to the 20-minute one based on that screen. If that screen shows what they think it is. So
Melissa, can I jump in for 1 second?
Yes, ma'am.
If all of you want to, you could look on the SAO Stroke Awareness Oregon website. There is an app you can download on there that put it on your phone, and it covers the whole US. You can put in the area that you're at if you have stroke symptoms, and it will tell you where the closest stroke certified hospital is, because many of the EMTs don't know. It's absolutely free, and it's on the Stroke Awareness website.
That's really cool. That's really helpful too if you're traveling outside of your where you live, and you need that information. Absolutely. Angel, you had a question?
Yeah, I had a comment. When I had my stroke, the paramedic said, she on drugs or something, and I'm not on drugs, but I repeat my words again and again and again. So my husband said, no, she's not on drugs.
Yeah.
And that's it.
I know. I try to teach.
You gotta get them on both.
To avoid assumptions is part of my lecture when I teach EMS, because it's not the first time I've heard that.
Yeah.
I took care of a gentleman about a year ago who when he went to the hospital, he was asked if he did any drugs, and he had aphasia, and all he could say was yes. And so he didn't get the treatment he needed because they didn't recognize that he had aphasia. Or people make assumptions about people, have implicit bias and all that, and it's pretty awful. So
Melissa, one of the assumptions that they're making that's very dangerous is that they're interacting with younger and younger people in their 20s, mid-20s, and they take the view, well, you're too young to be having a stroke, and that's a bad assumption.
And one of the things I'm going to say real quick here too, Melissa, is SAO, Lane was just talking about it, but SAO is very much, Stroke Awareness Oregon, by the way, is very much on the cutting edge of making sure that we get the word out. I mean, they're speaking to elementary kids in schools and doing all that stuff, because we got to get the word out, continue to get the word out, because so many people that I know have had a stroke and they don't know what to do, and neither does their spouse. And it's kind of like, and then you wait too long and it can be a mess. So.
Yep.
Okay.
No, you're absolutely right. We see that. And being in the Southeast United States, I think we've seen that for quite a while. And the coasts are kind of catching up to us. The Northeast and the West Coast are catching up to us. But I have 20-year-olds on my service. I have a 16-year-old. No, I'm sorry. He's 14. He's 14. I have a 14-year-old. We see him all the time. You know, it's not rare.
Can I ask a quick question, Melissa?
Yeah.
While we're going through this, so let's say that you have a younger person like that who has a stroke. Have you guys noticed or seen that their belief in their own ability to get better faster has helped them get better faster, or not? I mean,
I can't answer that question, to be honest, because
That's a good
I don't
question,
see
Keith.
patients in the outpatient setting.
well, from my perspective, I've been coaching and doing this for years, and I feel like it is true that a lot of younger people know they've got a lot of life left,
Yeah.
and so they don't want to give up too early, and they really get after it and really push themselves, and they get better faster. And most everybody who comes on these stroke survivor meetings, all of you guys are very good at that as well, but not everybody is.
Yeah.
And we got to make sure we tell people that you can get better, but you got to work at it. So.
Yeah.
And I think having that support makes a big difference. If you don't have any support, you're not going to necessarily. But yeah, I plus.
Keith, I want to just add something. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. It's okay. Go ahead. I mean, I feel like I could go on. I could totally derail this conversation.
I think Keith he's exactly right.
Yeah.
That I think so. What happens with a lot of stroke warriors is many of them don't see people that have recovered or had, some good recovery, and then they assume you cannot recover, which of course we all know is a myth.
Right.
Yeah.
And if you choose to buy into it, it's unfortunate.
Right.
Yeah, I think having the support groups is critical to helping people with their physical, mental, social, spiritual, all of that. I wish I could get more people to come to the one that we host in North Carolina. But
I know, but Melissa, real quick, one more thought, and then I'm sorry, you guys, this is a commercial break here, but so Stroke Awareness Oregon, we have done so much to help, and I'm not saying we're the only ones or on the cutting edge necessarily, whatever, but out here in Oregon we are, and in this part of the U.S. But we started a program as well where we now go one-on-one and we speak with people one-on-one, because there's so many people, as I've coached and all this through the years, that don't want to come to these meetings because they just either they have aphasia or whatever it is. And so we do, and I have done a ton of one-on-one, and I want to just encourage everybody here to not be afraid to go help those people like that on a one-on-one basis, because they need it as well.
Yeah, I think that's wonderful.
Keith, as well as in North Carolina, we have provided 17 grants so far this year, and all 17 of those grants are people under age 44.
Wow.
And the interesting part of it it's probably just the way it is, but 90% of those are women.
Interesting.
Wow.
That's interesting.
Do you think, Michael, that's because they are the ones who are putting themselves out there to be recognized for this that you're offering, or do you think it's just the way it is?
Well, this is the first year, this is really our third year of, gathering data. But this is the first year we have seen this trend where it's so young. And, it's basically as averaged from age 22 to 44. But the women the last 4 people have been, professional ladies that have families, and me watching who all is being impacted. It's kind of surprising. It could be Keith, I don't know.
Yeah, yeah, very good. Sorry about that, Melissa, but this
Yeah,
is
that's
really,
okay.
yeah, this is fantastic stuff right here. So,
This is y'all's space, so.
yeah.
All right, we got a few left. Michael, you want to pick one?
Yeah, I'll take, did Melissa make this up for 400?
People who live in West Virginia have the highest rates of stroke in the United States.
Who made
Negative.
that up?
I'm gonna
No.
say false.
Yes.
Yes. Oh, wow.
That's
West
what I thought.
Virginia is not in the stroke belt.
What is the stroke belt?
Dang.
Miss-
Ah,
It's
you asked
Florida,
the
isn't it?
question. The stroke
Florida.
belt is most of the southeastern part
Bible
of the
Belt.
United States. So,
Well, it is 4 specific states. It is North Carolina, Virginia, Georgia, and South Carolina.
it's more than that. It's
Well-
those the ones with the highest area is yes, Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina.
Yes.
But yeah, if you look up stroke belt, you're going to see that the southeast, so Louisiana, Alabama, Mississippi, Georgia, not Florida, they don't really count, they're not Southerners. Indiana, for some strange reason, even though that's not the southeast. Kentucky, Tennessee, we have the highest rates of stroke, and they don't know why. You think, oh, well, that's because
Is it heavier?
you'd think, right? So your diet, the smoking rates, the education, the socioeconomic status, the racial makeup, all of that, it is not. So the researchers controlled for those people. So when we do research studies, they match people. So we match somebody from North Carolina with Minnesota with the same dietary habits and weight. We match a smoker in South Carolina with a smoker in California. You throw them out. We still have higher rates of stroke. If you were born in the Southeast and you move away to Oregon, your risk of stroke actually goes down. If you're born in Oregon, yeah.
Interesting.
So they
What
do
is
not
wrong with you
know.
people?
Hey, don't advertise that. We have too many people already coming to Oregon.
No,
Yeah.
yeah.
See, I feel like all you West Coasters are coming to North Carolina because it's
Yeah.
cheaper.
The North Carolina, this is probably 2-year-old data that I looked at. It has 2.5 times the stroke rate that a normal state has.
Whoa.
Yep.
Hey.
They don't know why. They're looking into space. They're looking into the soil. They do not know why.
Oh.
No
Yes,
wonder.
Miss Angel.
No wonder
Never
it's
heard of that.
cheaper there. Did
Yes,
you
you
hear
had a
me,
question?
Michael? I said, no wonder it's cheaper there.
Oh, God.
I'm sorry.
Angel,
Oh,
do you want to say something?
no.
No? Okay, sorry. It popped up that you had your hand raised. Okay.
Oh,
We'll pick the next one anyway.
okay. Is that a stroke for
For 400. Okay.
400?
Grandpa has been sick with COVID and hasn't really gotten up a lot recently. He's
Okay.
now experiencing weakness all over. Is it
No.
true?
Go to the doctor.
He's probably just deconditioned from that COVID, right?
Mhm.
Yeah,
If he's
that's
weak
what-
all over, it's probably not a stroke.
Yeah.
We're talking about weakness on one side that suddenly happened, right?
Okay, yeah.
All right. Andrew, I think you were the first one who responded. You want to pick?
Do the papyri, that's wrong. Hold on. Just stop.
One of the yellow ones.
Potpourri 400.
Okay. Risk
of
of stroke is higher in this part of the United States.
Southeast.
Yeah.
the southeast.
Yup.
Yeah.
It was a gimme, right?
Darn you, Virginia. Darn you.
Alrighty. Let's see. Deborah, you want to pick one?
Sure. I think there's potpourri for 200. Is that still? Yeah.
Yep. This percentage of the population has a PFO, a patent foramen ovale.
What?
I don't
It's a
know.
hole in your heart.
Oh.
Oh, dang.
2%.
5. Oh,
Oh my
Oh.
More
gosh.
than one of us
Mm.
in this meeting probably
Uh-huh.
has one.
Dang.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
Not
a PFO. So we're all born with holes in our heart, and after we're born, they close up. Except in about 25% of the population, they don't fully close. And so you might come into a situation where you have a clot form, and it gets basically shunted the wrong way, and at the right time, if that hole happens to be like open, you can get the clot moving through it and up into your brain. And it's one of the things that we look for once you've had a stroke. If you've had the clot kind of stroke, they look for it in the hospital to see if you have one.
crazy.
All right. There's nothing to do about it, honestly. Like if you're over a certain age, they just say, okay, it's there. But if you're really young, they might do a surgical procedure and close it, but there's no evidence that that works in older people, so they don't close it on everybody. But anyway.
Wow.
Dang.
This is the time you have to get alteplase or tenecteplase from the onset of stroke. If you're having the clot kind of stroke, you need to get that Drano for your braino.
TPA. 4 hours.
TPA. 4
What
hours.
is it, an hour?
That was a little
4
more than
hours.
that. I thought it was more than that.
Didn't they just raise it to 4.5?
Okay.
4.5.
I'll take it.
Yeah. So the
Hey,
FDA.
Ralph just wants that $1 million prize.
I know he did.
Hey, Michael, you better write that big check.
The FDA
No, I only
says
accept wire
It's
transfers.
in the mail.
Guess what?
they are
just
doing research on if we can extend it more than 4.5 hours, but right now it's up to now 4.5 hours. However, you lose 2 million brain cells every minute during a stroke. So that doesn't mean that you can wait until, 3.5 hours to get your butt to the hospital. You need to go as soon as those symptoms hit, because the faster that you get there, the more that hopefully we can save, right?
Yep. That's exactly right.
Well, that was my game.
Anybody got any more questions for Melissa before we let her go?
Really fun.
Oh,
I like that.
Melissa, thank you for, this was very helpful. Believe it or not, it was very helpful.
Good.
job.
I'm glad you
Learned a lot
enjoyed
I
it.
didn't know.
Thank you
I
so
got to
much.
come up with new
Melissa.
questions every time. So.
Hey, Keith, I'm going to give you a
appreciate it.
shout after.
Pardon me?
I'm going to give you a shout after this is over.
All right, buddy. So anyway, we so appreciate you, Melissa. This is the second time you, when was the last time you came on? I don't even remember.
18 months.
Well, I'm not sure.
It's been a while. Ralph's still playing the game, so he's guessing on things.
I've got the recording from the old one that we
Studied. You studied. Very
He
good.
studied before the test. Good job, Ralph. I'm just in one of those moods today. So
Thanks,
we
guys. I
really-
appreciate the support.
We appreciate you so much, Melissa. Thank you so much. And you can go.
About
You got a couple
good
more minutes.
news. Do we have any good news?
Yeah, good news. Come on. Who's up?
I'm almost done with my book, Lonnie.
Really? Oh, cool, Arnie. That's great.
That is good, Arnie.
Yeah, man, it's just so damn time consuming. But it's been enjoyable.
Yeah, that's awesome. Once again, oh, she just took off. I was just gonna say to make sure everybody knew to let Melissa know. And but it was awesome. I'll send her an email. So
That was really fun.
and Michael, thank you, buddy. You've given us some great opportunities to get some people. We appreciate you, bud. Real quick, a couple other things. If you guys have any ideas for speakers or anything that you want, you got to email me, please. And it's just keith@strengthafterstroke.com. And that way we can get more speakers. The next meeting that we're going to have an open meeting. And so what I want to do in this open meeting is I'm definitely looking forward to having everybody say a few things about how they're doing right now. If they've got any challenges, or if things are going awesome, we want to hear that too. And so, 5 minutes or so from each person, or 3 to 5. We like doing that sometimes. It's really good to get that out. So let's see here. If you know of somebody that wants to chat with anybody, contact us and let us know. We'll get you in touch with Steve Van Houten, because we definitely have the peer-to-peer group now that helps people on a one-on-one basis. Stroke Warrior Radio, Ralph is doing an amazing job on Stroke Warrior Radio. A lot of you already know this, of course. He's a workaholic, and he is, and we appreciate you, Ralph.
That's reached 20 countries.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you want to say a few things, bud? Say a few things.
No, I'm good. Anybody want to interview, please contact me, Keith, anybody. I'd love to get some more interviews from new people.
Hey, Ralph, count me in.
All right, Arnie. I'll get your information from Keith.
Yeah, I'd love to participate.
Great. I love it.
Scott Wilcox, didn't you play a little bit of golf this last weekend?
I actually did. Got myself out and played a little one-handed golf with my girlfriend and my father. I had a great weekend.
Wow.
And I did not lose a ball. I just want you to know.
I want to know, did you get arrested like Scotty?
I did not get arrested. Somebody get arrested?
Scotty, the famous golfer. I was teasing.
Oh, that's Scotty. No, I didn't drive through a crime scene. I'm not driving, so that's probably good. You will not see my face, my booking photo on anybody's t-shirt anytime soon, I hope.
Heavy on the I hope. It depends. It depends.
Yeah, I really hope not.
Well, that's awesome, Scott. Good job. And thanks.
Yeah, it was nice to get out and get in the sunshine and hit a golf ball and walk around the grass. It was very nice.
Oh, that's awesome.
I think I even outdrove some people with 2 hands.
Hey, Keith.
Yeah.
I spoke to Mary Travis about speaking on our support group.
Yeah.
She'd be happy to.
I would love that. So you and I will work on how I can get a hold of her.
Okay.
So it was funny because then I watched the country, whatever it's called, and I saw them on that show a couple of nights later, and I thought, wow, that was pretty cool that they were out there. Steve, how was your experience, bud, with them?
I loved it. They were, Mary's awesome, and I talked to Randy for a while before we went on stage, and it was just a great experience. And hearing their testimony and all the things they went through, I was interested because I never knew how bad he was. How bad he was in the hospital. I mean, he was just really bad off.
Yeah. And
I didn't realize it. I knew he had a lot of problems, but boy, they went into it, and
Kathy Edwards.
yeah, it was great, and we had a blast with the audience and, working
You
it,
did,
so.
you did a fantastic job, my friend.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, and
You know what we can do, Keith? We could take a clip of Steve's band playing and maybe show it at the beginning of a support group.
I think
I
that's
would
awesome.
love all of you guys to see Steve on
I'd
the
love to see
stage.
it.
It was amazing.
It was amazing.
Yeah,
I'd
it
have to
was.
hear it first to be sure the sound came out good. So,
Okay.
Hey,
Yeah.
Lane, you or Jim, maybe I need to talk to Joey. I don't know who to talk to get that. So, I need help there. So that's all.
Well, I think Joey's listening to us, so we could start with her. There she is.
Yep. We haven't gotten the recording yet, but I will reach out to them and get a hold of that.
Okay, and when you do, then just let me know, Joey. And once again, you guys, let's make sure I want everybody to understand that Joey does this, and it really helps me in a huge way. And I really appreciate you, Joey, for doing that. And so I hope you know that. So,
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much.
yeah.
It's my
And-
pleasure, Keith.
Good, thank you. If you guys haven't got it, look at SAO's website and get the book, Just Say Yes to Life. In that event that we went to, and I know I talked about it last time, and it was incredible. There were so many people and it was awesome. And Jim, I had Jim talk about it last time, but you guys did a bang up job on that. Are there any stroke anniversaries this month? This month, anybody? No? Oh,
Yeah.
cool. Dave?
Yeah, May 11th.
Nice. Well, have a good one. How many years ago, bud?
2020, 4 years ago.
Okay. Well, you look good. You're doing good. Keep up the
Yeah.
good work. Yeah.
Keep it up, Dave.
Wow. Well, you look great, Dave.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Gotta
All
keep
right,
working.
guys. Oh, go ahead.
Just keep working at it. Never give up.
That's right.
That's
Yep.
it.
Yeah.
Repetition.
That's exactly right. All right. Anybody else got anything before we go? Bev?
Yeah, I was able to do Christian clowning at a faith fair. So I dusted off my butterfly wings and fluttered by. And I was able to give 2 of the Just Say Yes to Life books away.
You were.
Wonderful.
She sent me a picture of it. I should have got that picture together to show everybody. That was cute. You're doing good, Bev, and we think about you all the time. I hope you know.
Let's get a copy of that. Maybe we can put it in our newsletter.
Yeah.
That would be great, Bev. Will you send it to one of us?
Well, I was just going to say, is it okay if I forward it to him, Bev?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll do it. All right. Well, appreciate all you guys very much. Thank you guys for coming on, and we'll see you in a couple weeks. Arnie?
Right.
Oh, bye.
Thank you all.
Guys.
Yeah.
Bye.
Have a
Yeah,
great
Hey,
you
Scott,
guys have a
great to
good
have
one.
you.
Thank you for having
Bye-bye.
me.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming,
Yeah,
bud.
you guys have a great day.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Have a good
Bye-bye.
evening, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Okay.